Hello, and welcome to a special episode of Dylan Knows, my annual Oscar Pick show. I've done this since I've been doing this show, and I tend to like to dress up for the occasion every time. So that's why I'm wearing a shirt and tie, my glasses, but it's green. St. Patrick's Day is on Friday, so I figured I would do that for this. Unfortunately, I usually like to start off the Oscar Pick show with what I did last year, but I cannot find my record or my pick sheet from last year. So I'm just going to assume I did awesome and move on from there. So here we are. This is going to be one of my quicker episodes. I go through all 23 Oscar awards, and I read the nominees, and then I tell you who my winner is, maybe a little reason why I believe this, stuff like that. Then tonight, 8 o'clock on ABC, we'll start watching the show. Jimmy Kimmel will be hosting, and hopefully it'll be over at a reasonable hour. Yeah, right. It probably won't be over till, I'm going to predict now, 11:45 p.m. is my prediction. That's where it's been the last few years around that time, because there's so much extra stuff that doesn't need to be there, that they really need to learn how to trim the fat. But this is Hollywood's one chance to show off and do their little thing. So that's why you're not going to see that too often, because they like to do this to show off and hey, look at us, we get what we can do. And we have a host this year in Jimmy Kimmel. So we're gonna have to go through a monologue and any little stupid stunts he's got planned. So this is going to be probably another aggressively long day. And again, it doesn't help any that, it's daylight savings time now. So, we lost an hour of sleep. So technically, even though it says 1:35 p.m., it feels like 12:35 p.m. Obviously, you're going to hear that for the next couple of days. But it is what it is, and you got to deal with what you got to deal with. So we'll see. But as I said, I am not predicting a quick and easy finish to this. I mean, sometimes it gets you excited because they're moving right along, and you start looking like around 2 hours in, 2.5 hours, and you're like, oh, shoot, they've got 20 of 23 done. We're going to be done soon. And then they're able to stretch out the next hour for 3, stuff like that. So this year, a little bit different. Last year, they were experimenting. They're always experimenting. Last year, they're experimenting with cutting out some of the lesser awards, which is kind of stupid considering you're an award show and you need to show all of them and give everybody the opportunity to have a speech and be seen and on and live, and not, hey, let's pre-record this and then let's show it. Oh, by the way, this person won and here's a little snippet of their speech. No, that just didn't work out. So they're going to go back to the normal thing where everybody gets called up and is able to do a little speech. Of course, we'll have the people who are going to get, the music's going to play them off quicker when they're not done. And then there's the people who are going to go too long. There's going to be the political messages and all this stuff. So just this typical stuff you're used to, but it's fun to take a look at, the Hollywood outfits that people are wearing and whatever could happen, because anything can and will happen. Obviously, last year with the slap by by Will Smith on Chris Rock, the year before that, where during the COVID times, they did it in a much smaller venue and they did it a more intimate sort of way, and they gave a backstory to all the nominees, which was a little much for me, to be honest. And then they rearranged the order of stuff because everyone was expecting Chadwick Boseman to win a posthumous Oscar for Best Actor, and then when he didn't, that was the last award that they awarded because they thought he was going to. So it could all this be this big emotional thing, and it did turn out not to be that way. So anything can happen around here. I like watching the Oscars just because I like seeing the awards and stuff like that. And the fact is, I haven't really seen all that many movies. I've seen one of the Best Picture awards. I wanted to see Fabelmans. I wanted to see Top Gun Maverick. I have no desire to see Avatar: Way of Water, but eventually I'll probably see that. And I wanted to see All Quiet on the Western Front. I wanted to see The Banshees of Inisherin. I wanted to see Elvis. So I just didn't get around to it. So again, I did see a couple of the ones that are nominated here. So but majority of the ones that I picked, I did not see. So we will see. The one I did, I'll talk about that in a little bit anyway. So I don't know if I'm going to. I usually like to live tweet it also. I don't know if I'll be doing that this year. I probably will, but my kids will be watching, and I got to go back and forth between hanging out with the kids, watching with it, picking the winners, and tweeting. So we'll see how that turns out. But again, it's going to be a long night, so be prepared for that. I do, as I said, do not expect this to be over until about 11:45, maybe even closer to midnight, because that's just the way it always seems to be. And particularly now with the host, they didn't have a host last year, so we'll see what happens. Or did they have the 3 women last year? It was the 3 women last year, and the year before that they didn't have the host, the COVID year. So we'll see. But here we go. As always, I'll do the bigger ones. Later on, I'll do some of the like they do for the Oscars. I'll tease a few big ones, and then I'll hit some of the smaller ones. So this is in no particular order. So to get things started, we will go with the nominees for Best Editing in a motion picture are The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, Top Gun Maverick. My choice is Everything Everywhere All at Once. It is a wonderful film, and it's the only one really of the Best Pictures that I actually watched. I've seen it twice, actually. And the fact that it's a multiversal sort of thing where the characters change personalities multiple times and it jumps through different, and I can see where it can get a little confusing, but if you actually pay attention, you can actually follow the story pretty easily because they do a really good job of it, and the editing helps with jumping around from all the different ways of doing stuff from the different multiversal areas, stuff like that. I think it's a good bet that it should win. It's I wouldn't go so far as called a dead cert, but it's a really, really close to that. Other people are thinking maybe Top Gun Maverick might pop in here and win that. So you can't go wrong with either of those, though I am picking Everything Everywhere All at Once because I believe that is truly where it belongs to win. Best Makeup and Hairstyling. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale. My pick is The Whale, considering that the performance by Brendan Fraser of a obese person was done via makeup. It is probably of all these the most makeup heavy of the nominees, so I believe it should win out on this one as well. So that's my choice. A secondary choice, it's really hard to say. Maybe Elvis because of Tom Hanks's bizarre makeup for his Colonel Tom Parker role, but we'll see what happens like that. Best Actress in a Supporting Role. See, I told you I was going to mix some good heavy stuff in here. The nominees are Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Angela Bassett is going to win this one, in my opinion. I'm picking her to win Best Supporting Actress, which will give Marvel their first prestige award in their 15 plus, 20 plus years of doing, not 20 plus years yet, 15 plus years of doing Marvel movies. Will be the first one to do it. And Angela Bassett totally deserves it because she's a phenomenal actress, and her role as the Queen in the supporting role was outstanding. And really think so. Jamie Lee Curtis popped up and won the SAG Award last time, and sometimes that's an indication that she's going to win this one. But with the SAGs, only actors vote on those. In this case, everybody votes in these types of things. And I think with Stephanie Hsu being there also, their votes might cancel out each other. So I think Angela Bassett walks in and wins this one outright. So we'll see. Best Costume Design. The nominees are Babylon, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. I believe Babylon's going to win this one with its outrageous foray into the golden age of Hollywood, 20s, the roaring 20s with all their flapper gowns and crazy outfits and stuff like that. The only other one that might pose a competition for it would probably be Elvis with his outlandish Elvis style costumes, but I think Babylon is going to end up winning this one in the end. Where should I go next? We'll go with, we'll do a couple of these other smaller ones. Best animated short film. The nominees are The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, The Flying Sailor, Ice Merchants, My Year of Dicks, and Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake, and I Think I Believe It. Now, I'm not the perfect person to pick this one. I'm just went with what I saw other people picking and said, okay, that sounds good, because I'm not as intensely involved with it as the voters are, who vote for these things. So really, I don't know which one is a front runner. I'm just going by what I've seen a few people vote on. And these shorts are always hard to pick up anyway. But I just want to hear them say, and the winner is My Year of Dicks. I just think that'd be freaking hilarious. And that's why I'm picking My Year of Dicks to win this one. Am I 100% certain on this one? Hell no, I'm not. I just really voted for it because I want to hear him say, and the winner is, or the Oscar goes to, My Year of Dicks. Because I'm 12 years old, apparently. I'm younger than my son. So there we go. Best actor in a supporting role. The nominees are Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan for The Banshees of Inisherin, and Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. This one is probably a dead cert. You can probably take this one to the bank, though. Hopefully I will not be eating my words later on, because I believe Ke Huy Quan deserves all the accolades he's been getting. He's won basically every single big award in this, what's the word I'm thinking of? In this, whatever, Oscar race thing, whatever. With the exception of the BAFTAs, where Barry Keoghan won for Banshees of Inisherin, because they tend to, BAFTAs like to stick with more European made films and not kowtow to the American way of doing things. But I think Ke Huy Quan should walk away with this one pretty easily. Almost, as I said, almost a dead cert, because he's won every other award with the exception of one. So this one, if I had to say a lock, I would say Ke Huy Quan is a lock. Now, hopefully, knock on wood, that does not come back to bite me in the butt, but I don't think it will, because Ke Huy Quan absolutely deserves this, not just for his story alone, going from being a young child actor in the 80s, being in Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, Goonies, and Encino Man, then basically being blackballed, or not blackballed, maybe blacklisted for decades because he's Asian. There weren't a lot of Asian roles out there for him. And then once he started seeing more Asian roles starting to become more prevalent, he decided maybe it's time for me to get back into it. And just so happened to, his first film back happened to be this film, which he absolutely does a fantastic job, going from the mousy husband to the very hugely aware, confident, strong protector that he becomes is absolutely stunning. And then his businessman near the end also is actually phenomenal as well. So it's great to see his range and doing really good. And I believe Ke should win this one. As I said, my lock probably, if I had to have a lock of anything, would probably be Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Again, hopefully that'll be how it goes. Best live action short. The nominees are An Irish Goodbye, Ivalu, The Pupil, Night Ride, and The Red Suitcase. Now, it'll be interesting. Again, I'm going to preface this again like I did with the animated short. I don't know anything about any of these movies. I'm just going by what other people have said and voted for. So you can make your decision here. It'd be really interesting if, a week before, less than a week, 5 days before St. Patrick's Day, An Irish Goodbye wins. But I think The Red Suitcase, for whatever reason, I've been seeing that a lot more. I think they are going to be the one to win that. So The Red Suitcase gets my vote for winning live action short. Best documentary short film. The nominees are The Elephant Whisperers, Haul Out, How Do You Measure a Year, The Martha Mitchell Effect, and Stranger at the Gate. Now, I've seen a lot of people picking Stranger at the Gate. I don't know much about any of this stuff, but I figure How Do You Measure a Year sounds like an interesting documentary. That'd be interesting to see how that goes. So picked How Do You Measure a Year. I'm probably going to lose this one, and Stranger the Gate is probably going to win. If that's the case, I'll probably slap myself for a second, and then, oh, well, whatever. Because I've never gone perfect in any of my Oscar picks since I started doing this at the turn of the century. The closest I came, I think, was 21-3 at one point. I think that's the best I've ever done, or even 22-2 might have been there. But those were on picks where it was a dead cert on every single one of them, so it wasn't that hard. And I think the ones I lost were like these short films and stuff like that. So my choice for a documentary short is How Do You Measure a Year, though keep an eye out for Stranger at the Gate to win this one. But I picked How Do You Measure a Year just to be different, because I can. Let's see. Best Original Score, which is kind of a personal thing for me because I love movie scores. In fact, I did a radio show in college basically called about movie scores, movie music and scores and songs from movies. That's all I played, and I loved it. I don't know if my listeners liked it. It was a Saturday night. I did have the jail up in Reading, Pennsylvania, had it turned on from 10 to 12 Saturday night, and they listened to it. So I guess they liked it enough that they kept tuning it in. So, hey, why not? But best original score, the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. When you get a lot of the movies in the Best Picture thing, they get a good amount of nominations, and a lot of them aren't going to win anything, but the Academy likes to throw a bone to at least all of these in some form or another. Maybe not always the case, because there's 10 of them. You can't throw a bone to just 10 films. But there are some that have been winners in other award stuff that just are outmatched or overmatched here in the Oscars. So in this case, I believe they will be handing a bone to the Banshees of Inisherin to win original score. Now, I obviously could be wrong, but again, that's kind of neat because that's kind of an Irish sort of film, and to have a nice Irish score a week before St. Patrick's Day it'd be kind of interesting. So I'm picking the Banshees of Inisherin. At this point, again, it's really throw a dart and you can probably hit anything there. Maybe this will be Fabelmans, which would be John Williams' one of his things. So that he might end up winning that one as well. We'll see. But I think the Banshees of Inisherin, this is their bone. They're going to get thrown, and they're going to win this one. Best Original Song, the nominees are Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick, Lift Me Up from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Not To from RRR, and This Is a Life, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've seen a lot of people really high on Not To from RRR, but I don't know much about that. And I think with the whole Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther stuff, I think Lift Me Up is going to win for Best Original Song here at the Oscars. But don't be surprised if Not To wins for RRR. Now we're going to see their performances of these songs as well, so I'll be able to hear these songs for the first time, and then I might look like a fool, like, oh damn, that's going to win. But I still think Lift Me Up is going to win, because I think Rihanna is singing it, so that's always a plus, stuff like that. So we'll see. But I think that one's going to win for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So if that does, and Angela Bassett wins also, that's 2 Oscars for the Marvel movies, which I think would be outstanding. Going from music to sound, the nominees for Best Sound, All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun Maverick. This is the one I think Top Gun Maverick's going to get thrown their bone here. They're going to win Best Sound because, it's airplanes and jets and flying and supersonic booms and machine gun shooting and missiles firing and explosions and all kinds of fun stuff. So I think Top Gun Maverick takes the sound Oscar here. Let's see. Who should I do next? What I got left to do here? Let's throw another bone out there to people. Best Original Screenplay. The nominees are The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once should win this one. This could be as close to a dead cert as well, but I'm not going to go that far. I think it's got a huge potential to win this one and should be pretty obvious as well because of the layers that this movie covers. And in the end, when you remove all the layers and the multiverse stuff like that, it's a tale between a mother and a daughter. So I think Everything Everywhere at Once picks up this one as well. Best Adapted Screenplay. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onions, A Knives Out Mystery, Living, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. Real quick, I talked about this on my show previously when the nominations came out, and I was wondering why the hell are two sequels considered to be adapted screenplay, and I put that question out there, and I actually got a response from someone who knows the business inside. They basically said the rules of the nomination process for adapted screenplay is basically the reason why sequels will always be nominated for adapted screenplays, because they are utilizing previous characters and potential situations from a previously original movie as their own sort of, an adaptation of their original film. More of a continuation, but in their eyes, that's an adaptation of an already existing original film idea. They're just bringing back the character, stuff like that. So I think that's why it's in there. Now, this one's kind of an interesting one because I've seen a lot of people going on about women talking, because basically that's what the movie is about, is women talking. And that's what you want to see in a screenplay, is just a lot of good discourse between conversationalists. So I would maybe take a flyer out on that if you want, but I picked All Quiet on the Western Front. It's not hugely popular, but it is a piece of literature that is classic, is taught in schools in some cases. It is it has been winning its fair share of awards, not as much as Everything Everywhere All at Once, but it's been winning its fair share of awards as well. And it is, as I said, based on a literary classic, and they tend to like to dip with those. So I'm going with All Quiet on the Western Front for Best Adapted Screenplay, though I think in the end, Women Talking is probably going to take this, because that's all that happens, and that's what a screenplay is a acting discussion. So we'll see, but I'm still thinking All Quiet on the Western Front takes this. But as I said, go ahead if you don't want to. If you have a different take on it, take a flyer out on Women Talking. You wouldn't be bad either way, I think. Let's see. I'm gonna wait till all those three near the end. Let's see that one. We'll connect these two. So we'll do this one then. Production design. The nominees for production design are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fabelmans. Again, Babylon set in the golden age of Hollywood, 1920s, big studio time, big rich parties, Great Gatsby, drugs, sex, alcohol, big parties. Hollywood loves to give themselves awards and stuff like that. I think Babylon wins this one pretty easily, though you could probably make a case for Elvis, because that's what Baz Luhrmann really does, is sort of a really good job about, is his production designs and stuff like that. So, but look for Babylon to take this one. I have a pretty good feeling about that. Best visual effects. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick may surprise here, though I am loath to admit this. I think Avatar: The Way of Water is going to win this, because that's all the movie is visual effects. There's no real story behind it. And the whole point of the movie is to show how great special effects are. And I think this one is going to run away with this one. I would almost say this is a dead cert as well on that one. So you can pretty much take it to the bank. Avatar is going to win this one. So they'll get their Oscar, but it's going to be really the only one. Again, throwing them a bone. But this one, that's all Avatar is visual effects. So they should win this one in a cakewalk pretty easily. Cinematography. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. Baz Luhrmann is an amazingly creative artist. as a director. He might not be the cinematographer, but he's the one that, helps design the cinematography. So I think Elvis is going to win this one to give it their bone that they should be getting as well. I think they're going to win that one. And there you go. You got all that covered. So I think it's going to happen because that's what, now again, that's sort of like what Baz Luhrmann does. His films are visual treats. You would think production design might be a good spot as well. That's why I'm hesitant to say more than that. But again, going back to production design, I picked Babylon, but you might also want to take a flyer out on Elvis as well. So because it's Baz Luhrmann. So we'll see. But I think he's going to get his, he won't, but his cinematographer will get his Oscar for Elvis on this one as well. So now all we got left are the the features: Best Picture, Director, Actor, Best Actor, Best Actress. So we're moving right along. So let's see, what should we do then? Tell you what, we'll do Best Actor, Actress. We'll do all the other features. Then we'll do Best Director, then Best Picture, and that's where we'll end it. So we're probably looking at maybe another 15 minutes probably. So this one's going to be a quicker than usual episode, as they usually are. If you go back and look at my previous Oscar ones, you're going to see they're all about the same amount of time. So here we go. Best Actress in a Leading Role. The nominees are Cate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, going into the nomination process way back in January, when I announced the nominations, I thought this one looked like it was going to be a dead cert for Cate Blanchett and Tar because she had been winning most of all the other stuff. But then something miraculous happened. The second half of the award ceremonies happened right after the Oscars were nominated, and Michelle Yeoh has started winning everything. And at this point, I think Michelle Yeoh probably deserves it more than Cate Blanchett does because she's playing multiple roles all at once, everything all at once, and is the centerpiece of this movie. She's the one you follow for the entirety of the film. You don't really scoot off to other sequences with the exception of seeing the bad guy every once in a while. But I think Michelle Yeoh is going to overcome Cate Blanchett in this one, and Michelle Yeoh will win Best Actress in a Leading Role tonight. Now, nothing against what Cate Blanchett has done, stuff like that, and it's also very possible with the whole Oscar so white scenario that Cate Blanchett could still squeak in a win here. So either of those two, I think, is going to be your best choice. This award sort of got a little bit more scrutiny on it because of the whole Andrea Riseborough nonsense that was going on, where people were saying that maybe she illegally got this nomination, which doesn't make any sense to me because you want to promote yourself to get nominated, and that was the whole point of what they're saying. The issue was that she promoted herself, which doesn't make any sense to me. It hasn't even come back, and again, she wasn't going to win anyway. This is a two-person role between Michelle Yeoh and Cate Blanchett. I think Michelle Yeoh pulls off the victory because I think she deserves it a little bit more than Cate Blanchett. Not taking it away from Cate Blanchett, but I think Cate Blanchett's already got an Oscar, and I also think Michelle Yeoh, with what she did and had to go through, and is the centerpiece of the movie, and plays multiple roles, and has to jump between speaking English and Mandarin like that, is very impressive. So Michelle Yeoh is going to take Best Actress, though don't be surprised if Cate Blanchett pulls off the victory as well. It's not going to be an upset because Cate Blanchett, for the first half of award season, was the dead cert winner, and then all of a sudden things turned around for Michelle Yeoh, and she's now the one. They're neck and neck, basically, but I think Michelle Yeoh's got the slight lead because she did win the SAG award. So we'll see about that. Best Actor in a Leading Role, the nominees are Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nighy for Living. Again, another two-person role, but I think this one is a little bit different. Brendan Fraser should pull off the victory on this one for The Whale. He did not win the Golden Globe because of his whole history with which ruined his life with the foreign press, which screwed his life up. That's a whole different story to go on. So that's why he didn't win the Golden Globe. And Austin Butler has been squeaking out a few victories here and there, but I think again Brendan Fraser won the SAG award, and I think he's considered one of the nicest guys in Hollywood. People love a comeback story. Look at Ke Huy Quan, who's been winning all the awards, and Brendan Fraser's won his fair share of them as well. I think he's going to pull off the victory in this one. But again, much like with the Best Actress role, it's a two-person race, and I think Austin Butler could be breathing down Brendan Fraser's neck, but I think Brendan Fraser's going to pull off the victory in this one, and he's going to win that one. But again, not going to be surprised if Austin Butler wins for Elvis. But I think Brendan Fraser has got this one in the bag, and that's what my pick is. That's why I picked him and not Austin Butler. All right, now for best features that aren't Best Picture. We'll start with the documentary feature. The nominees are All That Breathes, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, A House Made of Splinters, and Navalny. And Navalny is the one I've seen a whole lot about. I think is it about the guy who runs Ukraine? Let me check that out. Detailing the 2020 assassination attempt of Russian opposition leader and former presidential candidate Alexei Navalny, which he has poisoned a military-grade nerve agent. It's not the Ukraine guy. That was the guy that's being held. He is the people's choice in Russia to become their next president, but because Putin is a horrible, horrible human being, he did this. So I think Navalny's got this one in the bag now that I know what it's about. And I thought that's what it was about when I saw the name. It rang a bell for me. This tends to be, I think, the one that's going to win that one. Best Animated Feature, the nominees are Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red. This is the second dead cert, and if I had a secondary lock, I think this one is a lock. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is going to win this award. It has won every other award out there for animated features. There are some people that think that Marcel the Shell with Shoes On might pull the surprise upset. I don't see that happening. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is the winner, is going to win this one, and is a dead cert as well. Again, if I can have two locks, it's Ke Huy Quan for Everything Ever All at Once for Best Supporting Actor, and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Both are locks. Both are going to win the Oscars. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But this is just my opinion from what I've been seeing throughout award season, which started way back in October. So, again, do what you think you feel you should. But I think this one has Guillermo del Toro written all over it, as does the one with Ke Huy Quan. Best International Feature. This one is also kind of a dead cert as well, but we'll go into that in a second. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Argentina 1985, Close, EO, and The Quiet Girl. This is where All Quiet on the Western Front is going to win their Best Picture, but International Feature. It won Best International Feature and Best Picture with the BAFTAs. It is from Germany. It is the one that is on Netflix, and everyone's talking about it, and it's got lots of nominations. This one is probably another dead cert, probably another lock. If I went with three locks, it would probably be this one as well. So you can probably take this one to the bank, because I don't know of any other movie that could probably take this over All Quiet on the Western Front, considering all the awards it was nominated for already. Because same thing happened with Parasite. Parasite had all these nominations, and it also had International Feature, and it won International Feature, also won Best Picture. That's not going to happen with All Quiet on the Western Front. That did that already with BAFTA, but this is All Quiet on the Western Front is going to win this one as well. All right, we're down to our final three, just to make sure I didn't miss any. Yep, down to our final two, excuse me. Best Director. The nominees are Todd Field for Tar, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, Ruben Ostlund for Triangle of Sadness, and Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans. For a while there, it looked like Steven Spielberg was going to win this one. He started off winning a bunch of awards early on in award season, but much like with Michelle Yeoh, Daniel Kwan, and Daniel Scheinhart's Everything Everywhere All at Once has definitely taken a massive lead over Steven Spielberg. It won the DGA, the Directors Guild Award, for Best Directors, which is usually an indication, I think it's 99.9% that whoever is picked for DGA wins the Oscars. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Steven Spielberg won for Saving Private Ryan, the DGA, but did not win for, oh wait, no, he did win. Yeah, he did win. Never mind that. There was one in there, maybe a Ron Howard or something like that, but there was one in there where they won the Directors Guild Award but did not win the Oscar. I don't think that's going to happen now. I think the Daniels take this way, as they deserve to, because they're able to keep all these massive storylines all together in a linear way. And again, if you don't understand the movie, I don't know what to tell you, because if you pay attention, you can actually kind of figure it out. It's not that hard. If you don't like reading subtitles, I can understand that, because they jump from speaking Mandarin to English and back to Mandarin all the time. And so your eyes are going to have to be all over the place, but there is a lot going on. But if you just focus and just sit there and watch it, you probably could easily figure out what's going on. It's not that hard. It just seems overwhelming. And I would recommend, if you are one of these people that saw it and said it was too confusing, watch it again, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And I think the Daniels absolutely deserve to win this one. Again, nothing against any other directors in here. If there is a surprise, again, Oscar so white, whatever, Spielberg might pull off the surprise victory, but I don't see that happening. I think the Daniels have got this in the bag. Again, probably another dead cert, but I'm not going to go that far yet. Though, as I said, this one has a lot of dead certs on it, and we'll know more tomorrow when in next week's episode, Dylan knows, when I let you know what my final vote total is. If it's kind of high, you'll know that, a lot of the dead certs came through as expected. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. I should probably wait and do that until I pick the winner. The nominees for Best Picture of the year are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. And the winner is... Take a guess. Yes. Everything Everywhere All at Once will win Best Picture this year. It deserves it. It has won numerous awards already. It is as I mentioned on my show yesterday, it is the most awarded movie in film history, with 158 awards won by this one little movie by a small indie group called A24. Became their first $100 million hit. Is going to become the biggest award winner in history, beating Lord of the Rings, Return of the King's 101 by smashing it with 158 awards and all of these as well. So if everything goes, if I go perfect, let's just say I go perfect, Everything Everywhere All at Once will win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 awards. So add that to the 158 and you've got 164 awards. Is it possible? It is absolutely possible. Is it possible they could win more? Absolutely, they could win more too. But right now, Everything Everywhere All at Once is the most awarded movie in film history with 158. And I do not see anything else overtaking this. All Quiet on the Western Front, again, their BAFTA win was more along the lines of the British tend to like to keep things in the European style and not really award American movies too well, just because we are British film awards, not American film awards, and we prefer to support our British filmmakers so they keep making films in Britain or in Europe, as it were. Avatar is not going to win because it is if you get past the spectacle of the special effects, it is a terrible movie. The Banshees of Inisherin, again, is a small sort of niche sort of film, well acted, but just happened to hit at a time with this buzzsaw. Elvis, maybe, but again, a lot of people really are not too stoked about Tom Hanks's role. Elvis actually won a couple of Razzies, so that's not a really good sign here. The Fabelmans, is a Steven Spielberg production. You expect nothing less than that because he is one of the best directors out there, but a more personal film about how autobiographical could be construed maybe as not the best film in the world. Tar, as I said, is really dependent upon Cate Blanchett's performance, and that's really about it. Top Gun Maverick, I think was while better than the original one from what they're saying, is still just a big action film that won a bunch of money, and it's a way to get people to watch the Oscars with more. That and Avatar both making a lot of money, and Elvis made some good amount of money. Everything Everywhere Else did as well. So I think we'll get a better viewing rating this year for that. Triangle of Sadness and Women Talking are just one films you don't really know much about. Indie films like that. So Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to win Best Picture and end up with 6 wins this roll out. So that's it. We will find out more. It's 2:14 p.m. right now. The Oscars start at 8 o'clock, so less than 6 hours. We will find out in 6 hours from now. We will have our first few wins, and I'll figure out where I am right now. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this special surprise. It's not really a surprise. It's my annual Oscar award episode. Hope you enjoyed it. So go out, enjoy the rest of your day, and then come back at 8 o'clock tonight on ABC and check out the Oscars. They might be starting at 7:30 with all the red carpet stuff. And if you go to Entertainment Week or ETV or any of these other sort of entertainment places, they'll probably have the nonstop sort of red carpet sort of things. So there's my picks. Here's hoping, I win a bunch of them. And again, that's how cool would it be to hear, and the Oscar goes to, how cool would it be to hear, and the Oscar goes to My Year of Dicks.